A new chapter is unfolding in the Pacific's political landscape. After a historic election, Sai Takai became Japan's first female prime minister, a victory that marked both hope and tension. Since taking office, Takai has done what few Japanese leaders dared: openly challenge Washington and Donald Trump's aggressive tariff policies, which have already turned the Pacific into an economic battlefield. According to Japan's foreign ministry sources, Takai made her stance clear from day one. The era of one-sided concessions is over. In a leaked meeting, she told officials Japan would remain an ally, but not a vassal. Those words echoed worldwide, and according to the Financial Herald, hit the White House like a warning. Washington had expected loyalty, but Takai chose a different path, a mix of pragmatism and firmness. Insiders say she told the U.S. ambassador directly, "If America treats Japan with respect, the alliance will stay strong. But if Trump uses tariffs as weapons, Japan will strike back, targeting the core of the U.S. economy." Analysts note that Japan holds hundreds of billions in U.S. government bonds. Even a small sell-off could rattle markets, spike interest rates, and raise borrowing costs across America. Bloomberg reports that Tokyo's finance ministry has already created a task force to explore reducing dependence on the U.S. dollar and boosting the yen's global role. It's not just an economic shift, it's a political message. For the first time since World War II, Japan is signaling it's ready to stand financially independent, without waiting for Washington's approval. Analysts at the East Policy Review say Japan's latest move is a direct response to Donald Trump's tariff escalation, raising duties on Japanese cars, electronics, and industrial goods to 35%. For a nation built on exports, that's more than an economic hit. It's a threat to national security. But Prime Minister Sai Takai isn't seeking confrontation for its own sake. Her message is balance. Japan wants partnership, not submission. Officials say her cabinet is drafting a proposal for mutual investment, an alternative to a full-blown tariff war. At the same time, Tokyo is deepening trade links with China, India, and Southeast Asia, creating new economic corridors where transactions are made in local currencies instead of the dollar. This marks Japan's first public step toward de-dollarization. According to Reuters, the idea of promoting the yen as a regional currency came from a recent Economic Security Council meeting. A leaked document called it the era of currency pluralism, declaring that the dollar can no longer be the world's only instrument of trust. For Washington, that sounds like defiance. For Tokyo, it's long overdue independence. Experts at HSBC Asia estimate that if even part of Asia shifts to yen-based trade, global demand for the dollar could fall by 5 to 7% within 5 years, a major blow to the U.S. budget amid record deficits. Unsurprisingly, the White House is on edge. Trump's advisors are reportedly preparing countermeasures, including a review of the agreement that allows American military bases on Japanese soil. But Pentagon officials have cautioned that such pressure could backfire, potentially unraveling the very security network the U.S. built in Asia after World War II. Japan isn't just an ally. It's the cornerstone of American influence in the Pacific. Losing Tokyo's trust could open the door for China, which has long aimed to push Washington out of the region. Meanwhile, nationalism is on the rise within Japan. Takai's victory has energized a new wave of young politicians calling for a Japanese path, restoring technological and financial independence. State media now speak openly about economic patriotism, and lawmakers are beginning to question the country's reliance on American technology and weapons. According to Asahi Shimbun, Japan's parliament is set to debate a bill promoting domestic production of microchips, electronics, and batteries, a move that directly challenges American giants like Intel and Tesla operating in Japan. Sources close to Donald Trump say he took Prime Minister Sai Takai's policy as a personal insult. Politico Asia reports that during a closed meeting, Trump allegedly remarked, "If Japan wants to play independence, it should pay for it." In Tokyo, those words were seen as a threat, even as interference in Japan's internal affairs. The defense minister quickly responded, declaring that Japan doesn't need mentoring and will defend its interests by every means necessary. Amid this tension, Japan has begun strengthening ties with South Korea and Australia, forming an informal economic alliance aimed at reducing the region's dependence on the United States. Western media are already calling it the Asian Renaissance. According to the Global Economic Forum, Tokyo and Seoul are negotiating a joint technological innovation fund that could exceed $200 billion in capitalization. The risks for America are growing. Analysts at Moody's Analytics warn that if Japan begins selling off U.S. bonds, it could trigger a domino effect, with South Korea, Taiwan, and even some European investors following suit. Global markets are already showing signs of unease. In recent weeks, the dollar-yen exchange rate has hit its most volatile point since 2015. But as Financial Review Asia notes, the real clash between Donald Trump and Sai Takai isn't just economic, it's ideological. It's American protectionism versus Japanese pragmatic nationalism. Raised in a family rooted in samurai traditions, Takai openly embraces the idea of a strong state that protects its citizens from external pressure. Her words, "Strength is not a threat, strength is dignity," have become a defining slogan of the new Japan. Analysts are already comparing today's tensions to the 1980s Plaza Accord crisis, but this time Japan is different, stronger, wealthier, and ready to stand on its own terms.